Satya Nadella took over as CEO of Microsoft and drove change throughout the giant software company. Nadella instituted an initiative to transform Microsoft's corporate culture to become customer-centric. Travis Lowdermilk and Monty Hammontree, two Microsoft user experience (UX) experts, walk you through Microsoft's culture change program. They explain how your firm can use similar programs to revolutionize your corporate culture for the benefit of your customers, your employees, and your bottom line. Microsoft's third CEO, Satya Nadella, transformed the company by obsessing about customer needs. Microsoft's reputation suffered grave damage. Customers and commentators in and out of the tech world regarded the giant software company as an evil, grasping monolith that despised and did little to provide for its customers. Those on the inside felt Microsoft had devolved into separate, warring, siloed kingdoms, constantly battling one another. Software engineers, and especially open-source developers, viewed Microsoft as an out-of-touch dinosaur and avoided its developer services. Then in 2014, Satya Nadella became Microsoft's third CEO. He felt determined to transform cantankerous, old Microsoft. Nadella's plan was simple. In the future, the company would obsess over customer satisfaction. Its new, ambitious mission statement said, "Empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more." Under Nadella's leadership, customer empathy became Microsoft's guiding light. The corporate giant began to emphasize customer outcomes and experiences. The company scaled empathy for 100,000-plus employees, a tremendous challenge. Nadella faced the enormous challenge of scaling customer empathy in an enormous, worldwide corporation. Getting more than 100,000 far-flung workers to focus on customers began with changing Microsoft's corporate culture, which Nadella described as rigid. He asked a pivotal question: what culture do we want to foster? Microsoft's influential 2,000-employee developer division, DevDiv, bears responsibility for developer tooling. DevDiv played a major role in Microsoft's extraordinary transformation. It began its customer-driven cultural journey in 2013, the year before Nadella took over. With the new boss's emphasis on learning, DevDiv professionals made letting customers teach the company what they wanted as Microsoft's new guiding principle. With DevDivs leading the way, Microsoft began to learn all it could about its customers. While continuing to follow classic lean principles, the company focused on innovation, non-stop acquisition of knowledge, and constant collaboration. Corporate cultural transformation depends on awareness, curiosity, and courage. 3 behaviors are crucial in changing a corporate culture. First, awareness. Double-check your theories about your products and services. Define, clarify, and codify your assumptions. Then restate them as hypotheses you can test. Second, curiosity. To develop products or services customers want, embrace curiosity to fuel ongoing gathering of comprehensive information about all of them. Third, courage. Despite your best efforts, the products and services you plan to offer may not prove to be what customers want. Don't stay wedded to misguided plans out of pride, inertia, or sunk costs. Show sufficient courage and tough-mindedness to drop failed ideas, shift course, and move ahead. To illustrate, imagine a company that bases product strategy on the gut feelings of senior executives who lack the curiosity to fund research to learn what their customers truly need or want. Or consider another company that invests in product research but doesn't act on its own findings because they run counter to its entrenched business model. Over time, Nadella's push inside Microsoft succeeded in transforming its culture, as its bottom line proved beyond a doubt. DevDiv UX research manager Kelly Kraut noted that Nadella's #1 priority was developing the iterations within Microsoft and its products that generated widespread positive customer responses. This drove renewed profits and increased share price. And now, no company on earth has greater value than Microsoft. Corporate cultures are like software products. Companies can hack them. To manage change, perform 6 hacks. Software translates inputs into outputs to instruct computers. Similarly, cultural norms and corporate policies instruct organizations. Employees download the organization's instructions, its culture, to learn how it expects them to act and to understand the outputs Microsoft wants them to produce. Hacking your culture relies on step-by-step attempts, innovations, and iterations, some of which will work and some of which won't. Even those that work must be adjusted, purged of internal problems, and made to run at their best. 6 effective culture hacks serve as vital way stations on your organization's culture change path. They are: first, establish a language that employees understand easily. Linguist Benjamin Whorf explains that language shapes the way we think and determines what we think about. To ensure that everyone in your organization speaks in the same terms and language, compile and disseminate a common glossary. A common language enables your people to connect and collaborate with each other and with your customers. People who share a common culture use language to state their values and preferences. When you provide a different language, thinking, actions, and values will change. And that shifts the culture. A customer-driven culture requires its own language of learning. In Microsoft's DevDiv, various learning concepts, assumptions, hypotheses, experiments, and sense-making are intrinsic to its day-to-day common vocabulary. Second, create bridges that connect employees, not walls that separate them. Some companies become, either by design or happenstance, siloed hotbeds of competitiveness, as Microsoft once was. This is not an uncommon problem. Things were so bad at Microsoft that a comical, insulting org chart made frequent rounds on the web, showing different Microsoft divisions aiming pistols at each other. Customers don't care about corporate boundaries and employee rivalries. They care only about having a great experience. The team approach breaks down silos and subdues internal competition. Promote cross-functional knowledge sharing across all divisions. Eliminate superfluous internal barriers. Make sure those who plan and develop your products, including product managers and user researchers, are in direct touch with customers and know their preferences, observations, and concerns. Your employees must consistently communicate to facilitate knowledge sharing. The third hack is promote a learning attitude. Learning is essential to developing a customer-centric corporate culture. Learn all you can about your customers. Value the knowledge your company acquires through its mistakes. Avoid a know-it-all attitude. Promote diverse voices, opinions, and perspectives, and alternative ideas. Just as people are not perfect, companies lack perfection too. Firms and their employees can learn from failure. Fourth, develop quality leaders who will nurture a quality corporate culture. Compliment and thank your leaders. Your gratitude will encourage them to model a culture that prioritizes customers. Spotlight quality work and customer-oriented behavior by setting up FaceTime so promising employees can get to know leaders who serve as role models. Change makes people uncomfortable. It's not easy for employees to accept a new corporate culture. To enlist support, spotlight selected employees who embody the behavior you want to encourage. Script the employee behaviors you prefer. Make sure your systems and tools work well within the new culture. Embed belonging cues in employees' milestones, like job interviews, onboarding, anniversaries, groundbreaking projects, performance evaluations, raises and promotions, and retirement to promote internal cultural ties. Fifth, be a pragmatist, not an absolutionist. Meet people halfway. The more difficult you make cultural change, the less likely it is to succeed. This means you must be willing to meet employees halfway and not insist on dogmatic adherence to any suggestions or policies. A rigid approach may backfire and deliver the negative results. Instead, be passionately pragmatic. Most employees want autonomy. Therefore, it's important to adopt a flexible approach that permits your teams and employees to establish and implement their own customer-centric processes. To establish trust, don't automatically dismiss your detractors. Listen with respect. The final culture hack is your data should be meaningful to your employees. Numbers, extrapolations, and spreadsheets can include significant information. But raw data inspires no one. To seize and hold interest and attention, you need to share stories that resonate with the listener's emotions. For commercial organizations, this means compelling customer service and success narratives. Customer usage data and customer analytics detail how your customers utilize your products or services. But this information has little or nothing to do with why your customers embrace your offerings. The only way to learn more is to ask customers and to listen to their stories. The best stories follow 5 patterns. First, simplicity. The stories are immediately comprehensible. Second, unexpectedness. The stories feature intriguing details that surprise listeners. Third, concreteness. The stories are tangible, definitive, and succinct. Fourth, credibility. The stories are credible. And fifth, emotions. The stories convey powerful feelings and engender strong responses. Transforming your culture to become more customer-centric benefits customers and employees. To know if your change measures work, measure the results. Ask these questions about your current culture. First, what is your current positive culture growth metric? Does it demonstrate the employee behavior you are encouraging? If not, how can you ensure it does? Second, are your employee feedback measurements quantitative and qualitative? Third, is your corporate culture heading the right way? Brainstorm with your team to determine whether the firm and its workforce value awareness, curiosity, and courage. Fourth, each month, use small sample pulse surveys to monitor your culture's progress. Survey your employees using a likability scale about their access to customer data, their and their manager's use of customer feedback in making decisions, and how they perceive customer enthusiasm, requirements, irritations, and yearnings. As a result of your work on cultural change, your employees should engage more deeply with your organization and each other. Your culture transformation efforts will motivate employees, give them a sense of mission, make them happier at work, and help them connect with customers in more meaningful ways.